Hey everybody, Rodham here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of the Speedrun Challenge. So last episode I had prepared to break into the Ancient Danger, and that's exactly what I'm going to do this episode. Dire Airship mentioned that this trap might be ineffective if the mech or bug walks diagonally, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. And I'm going to have everyone else standing around ready for the fight here. So what I'm going to do is have Win standing here. And Lulu and Bubbaloo are going to stand so that they can't be meleeed. And we're going to leave this wooden door open. And then the moment JDE breaks that down, so that he doesn't waste any time, I'm going to queue up a haul. Just so that I know that he's going to exit through this door. Because I don't want whatever is in here to damage him. So, yep, that worked. It quickly made him spring into action. This door will be left open so that the Lancers can path out, and it might take a second for them to want to walk out here. There goes one. And the other. Perfect. Now I'm going to give myself up as a temporary target, trying to lure the centipede out. Come on, Mr. Centipede. Take the bait. He's not taking the bait. Because the other alternative... Oh, yep, taking the bait. Good, good. Alright, jumping into action now. Everyone's going to get into position. So the EMP gets triggered through the wall. Win is going to stand around to be a doctor for when this fight's over. She actually might be able to get behind the centipede and punch from behind to add a little bit more damage. So the EMP grenades, they'll adapt. The centipede will adapt and be able to not be stunned by them. So there's no point in continuing to throw the EMPs. We just need to jump on this mech and smash it to death as fast as we can. And it's almost dead. Alright, it's unstunned now. So it potentially could bash us back, and I'm really hoping it doesn't. Although Bubbaloo here has a duster. Oh, there we go. So Bubbaloo needs a little bit of medical attention, but I think that that went as smooth as it possibly could. Smooth as butter, in fact. So we'll get, we will get Lulu and JD to haul this important stuff back. Bubbaloo's going to hop in the bed. Win, you're going to stick around and patch Bubbaloo up so he doesn't get infections or whatever. Bubbaloo, once you're patched up, you're going to haul the Glitter World medicine, and then Win, you will start to haul the mech. Definitely going to not replace those traps and deconstruct the rest of this stuff. In fact, we could deconstruct the slate if we really want it to. Alright, Bubbaloo haul, and that is how you deal with an Ancient Danger. Easy peasy. The next thing I want to do is to stockpile some additional food. I also have whatever is inside there as... yeah, let's go... I'm going to wait until Bubbaloo is fully healed, and then we'll deal with whoever the occupants of the Ancient Danger are in the cryosleep. Ah, come on. Nutrient paste. Alright, so what I'm doing here is making some extra meals, and I will stockpile them at the door. And this is so that I can turn off the NPM machine. So meals, important that meals go here. Win hauls them. And then we can flick the NPM machine off, which allows us to turn on the machining table and disassemble mechanoids. All by design. I want to reclaim all the wood here as much as I can. Bubbaloo, I think we're low on wood, so I'm going to have you stick around the base and cut some trees down. I don't need them mining for compacted machinery. Hauled most of the wood back. Wind's back to researching. We're getting Psychite Tea. And now we can break down the mechs. We should be doing this forever, not just once. So do forever. As they are a very, one of the only sources of plasteel, because I don't know of any plasteel nodes at the moment, so it's the only place I know to get plasteel, which is important. I'm out of power, but that's why I've been chopping trees down. A little bit of recreation hour. Additionally, I could also grow roses here. So, Rabinet has mentioned that roses last a while. So they're a very good plant to grow for beauty. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will put roses here. It will make Bubbaloo's workload a little bit larger because he's the planter, but whatever. It will also make my rooms a little bit nicer. And that has its own benefit, especially to mood. So please don't get infected on your neck. That would be bad. A limb infection you can always amputate. A neck infection, not so much. When your neck is infected, it's probably fatal unless you get good meds. So why roses over daylilies? They're the same beauty, believe it or not, but the growing time of rose and the lifespan is 1.5 plus 7.5, whereas the daylilies are 1.5 plus 4.5, so the roses last longer than daylilies. 3 days longer, in fact. And that way we lessen some of the workload in making the base pretty. All right, Bubbaloo's fully healed. That's good. We got the Psychoid brewing. Time to jump into microelectronics. Really soon, we're going to have some brews to brew up, which means that we're probably going to need an electric stove. And I'll make one there. All right, I purposely dug this out to strike Jade, and I'm going to have Bubbaloo go ahead and get that going. And we have a raid. They are pirates, so they're pretty well equipped, but I have a lot of traps in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my stockpile a little bit. Away from the doors, so they can't just like snatch something and run away with it. In fact, I ought to put my AI core somewhere more challenging to get, so they can't just knock me out and take that easily. Where is the AI core would be in items? Yes, AI persona core. All right, so these pirates are coming in, and I think keeping my mace is probably the right call. Alright, so the A core is somewhere a little bit more secure than the rest of the goods. And I am attempting to move everything else kind of away from the door here. Additionally, I need to close this door so that they trap themselves. And let's go ahead and get ready to bash. I don't think we're going to need to. I think they're going to kill themselves on the traps. There goes one. 2, and now they flee. Get back here, Jerry. Are you geriatric? No, you're not. Alright, I'm not going to bother chasing them down. Not all that important, but let's get rid of these bodies before they get ugly. Hauling this stuff away. The machine pistol and revolvers aren't terrible weapons to use until I need better weapons either. And rebuilding the traps. Alright, making sure she uses her time well there. Bubbaloo now has roses planted everywhere. All bedrooms are now decent. Oh, this is a bad temperature. That's because it's not currently passively cooled. It is a very hot summer. I'm gonna make sure we're hauling stuff away. I also, keeping it away from the entrance door not only makes it harder for someone to steal it, but also we don't have to walk on it and it won't slow our movement down, because some items will slow you down when you walk upon them. So I see that I have a low amount of food, so soon I'll have to go hunting again. I'm gonna wait to go hunting as long as I can, though. Alright, we don't need to fuel this anymore. In fact, I'm just going to straight up uninstall it. Alright, our stockpile is all set up. The electric stove currently doesn't have power because we are powering our machining table. We don't need this made just yet. It's actually going to be for the psychite tea. I don't really plan on cooking anything, but the tea will require preparation, of course. So we're going to make a shelf next to it. I guess I can keep this on. And in this shelf, we are going to clear and put raw resources, plant matter, psychoid leaves. And then make a bill of making tea, do forever, and drop on the floor. Alright, these weapons are degrading, but, or deteriorating. But it doesn't really matter to me. Not yet, at least. Alright, so Steve Woodgate said, I need a door here to avoid walking all the way around the farm, so let's put one in. And I think that addresses all of the suggestions I had. I did have a suggestion about moving Wynn and the research bench and all that so that she doesn't get disturbed sleep, but she really doesn't get disturbed down here. Especially if I move this hand tailor bench up, there's really no reason for any pawns to be in this area at all. Oh, unless they use that door. Alright, I can fix that. We'll move this door a little bit, and then no pawns should be down there for any reason whatsoever. And then if this door is where it's going, we'll call this dead mechs. Make it critically important that the corpse of mechs go there. And it's right outside of the machining table. So that's a perfect spot for it. In fact, I'll put the door right there. All right, JD, instead of cloud watching, how about some construction? All right, so now there won't be disturbed sleep as much. I don't really want to move around her bed because then I'll have to build a chair. I could do that, it wouldn't kill me, but I'm just not going to unless I have to. Alright, so now we have the door that takes us west, or northwest. We are about halfway to microelectronics. But I do want to figure out what's in these cryosleep caskets, so I'm going to take everyone over here and open one up. Alright, they were not hostile. They are slaves I have no interest in their stuff, but I'm going to strip them and put them back in. I'll just put them back. So let's carry them back to the cryosleep caskets. But that does give us some gold and stuff. There's some gold and some plasteel and some components and some awful pants or whatever. All right, we'll just leave them in there. I don't really have a need for... So recruitment is prohibited in this challenge. It's part of the rules. And then I additionally don't really want to... like, I could enslave them or whatever, but it's not like I have anyone to trade the slave to. You know, I just... there won't be any orbital visitors or anything, so in other words, there is no reason to keep them around whatsoever. So JD at this point, let's give you the machine pistol. That's probably the best hunting weapon I have, and then I'll take everyone else off of hunting and put you back on hunting, and we'll be hunting Muffalo because they're a little bit less of a danger than Mega Sloths. Alright, Bubbaloo, your next task is Jade time. Lulu, you are hauling. That's good. I didn't realize how far the Muffalo were, and they still got all angry at me for shooting at them. How fast are you? You are 4.3, and I'm probably 4.6. No, 5.0. Oh, because I'm a jogger. Ah, you are in the dust, my friend. And the more I shoot it, the more wounded it gets. The more wounded it gets, the faster I get comparatively. Because now it's down to 3.5. This would have been a little bit easier had it not gotten all angry at me. Oh, just die already. Alright, so I was low on food, but that won't be true anymore. Bubbaloo. Mine the Jade, and I'll turn the Jade into something for the Rec Room. The Rec Room now temporarily kitchen. Let's go ahead and move the stove out. So Jade, I have zones set up so that they'll never interrupt the bugs. Because I really, really wouldn't want to be eaten by bugs for no reason. That'd be a grave mistake. Oh, this is not a teeny Jade stockpile. It's a pretty decent one. Node, I should say. It's not a stockpile. Alright, and we need to power this back on and power this off. Lulu, what are you working on? You are hauling steel. That is productive. I'm just constantly sort of supervising to make sure that the pawns stay productive. So Bubbaloo, for instance, should not be returning. I want him finishing the mining. He's the best miner, so he needs to be the one to do it. Cook. JD is our only cook, so he'll get butchering once that thing is dead. Alright, this is a lot of jade, and I do need a chest bench, so that's probably going to be the first thing I do. Win. I'm sorry to do this to you. You looked so relaxed. But I'm putting you back to work. Alright, all the jade has been mined out. And now, I might actually skip the chess table and go straight into poker. But for that, I'm going to need some cotton. So that's another Bubbaloo task. The dining room is somewhat impressive now. So that's going to provide some nice mood benefits. Soon we're going to have beer. What temperature is this? 63? Yeah. We just making sure that it stays in the right temperature range. Because if it doesn't, that'd be very bad. I know we're low on food, but here is a bunch of meat butchered up by JD himself. Let's go ahead and grow a whole lot of cotton. Given that it is August, I think there's enough time to get this all planted up. Lulu will turn the blue fur into another duster. Checking wildlife. Rhinos are probably too dangerous. Boomlopes, wild boars. Gonna be the next target here. Now I have 10 gold shy of enough for the multi-analyzer and like 19 plasteel shy. It's possible that I can find plasteel and gold somewhere. In fact, if I was to really look for it, there's definitely some underground caverns out this way. So what I might do is try to find it that way. I might create a mining shaft. Let's see if I can't find myself some underground gold or plasteel. Because I can make a long-range mineral scanner to find metals, but it won't find both. It will find one or the other, but not both. So Lulu and Bubbaloo will be working on that shortly. And this stockpile is filling up quick. And soon we'll have my last duster, which will be pigskin. Let's go haul this blue fur. JD's doing a good job of hunting. So the reason why 2 wide is if you have marble chunks, it's far less likely that you'll have 1 marble chunk block pathing, and that way you can path into your mining shaft quicker. Plus with 2 miners, I dig the shaft at basically the same speed. They're not slowed down really at all. Alright, JD is really making good work of hunting. I'm going to take him off of hunting for now, because I think we're probably pretty good on food. Get him to butcher up some of the boars. I have almost enough pigskin for another duster. So close. Guess I could reinstall the field smithy, because as long as we're not smithing on it, it won't use the fuel. I'm surprised I haven't gotten any inspirations yet. It's not like I have dissatisfied people here. We have very, very high moods for everyone. Alright, you... Why are you hauling it to the hopper? Because JD wants to mine? Ah, all right. JD, I'm going to take you off of mining. There is... You can start to do the hauling, I suppose. There's also additionally gun turrets I could make. I suppose it would behoove me to make at least a few. So I'm going to make one here and one here. And I'm going to prepare the zone over here for combat. So I think ideally what I'll have is a marble wall here with a door that allows me to travel south. Well, I don't even need a door there because I already have a south door. And this forces raiders to go around the north side, and then I'll have north turrets. So I'll put sandbags like this and like that. And this will help defend me. I think that's a good use of my components, as long as it can keep the turrets alive. That also gives JD something to work on. And then let's fill this in with cotton. Or actually, let's fill it in with heel root. Skill too low. All right, cotton it is. I was going to do heel root because it is, it doesn't die in the winter, so it's flammable all the time. But cotton is fine. And then what I want to do is to prepare the zone so that enemies can't use chunks and whatnot for cover. And then what I'll need to do is dead power conduit. I'll put that there in order to turn on and off the turrets remotely. And I'm just hauling the chunks up to the other side of the farm. There we go. Still haven't hit anything yet. Doesn't mean there isn't anything here. I'll just keep going. I don't want to go out all the way to the edge of the map because what will end up happening is enemies at the moment can't enter the map from the west side because there is no west side terrain to enter from. So I need to make sure not to mine all the way out. All right, turn this turret off. And it also will help to get batteries so that I can power on the turrets when I need them. Oh, that's funny. One of the enemies here that I killed was named Ally. That's, obviously I wasn't allied with them. So at the moment, we don't have enough power to power on the electric stove. If I turned on the other wood fire generator, we would. But first things first, I want to stockpile my tea leaves here. I don't really need a shelf anymore, but oh well, I have one. I'll use it later for my machining bench, or my fabrication bench. But for now, that will be fine. Alright, it is rec hour. And looking at the social, Lulu and JD, full social. JD also likes Win and likes Bubbaloo a little bit. Bubbaloo is friends with everyone but JD. Lulu is friends with everyone. And Win is friends with all but Bubbaloo. So Bubbaloo has, no, 2 friends. Everyone's really, really close to one another. One of the reasons for that is I do have every single pawn here kind. Which means never insults, never social fights. There was basically no way to have them not get along. And that's by design. I did not want a Doomsday cult to squabble. They're all unified goal here, right? Or at least that's the idea. Alright, so when we make the Psych IT, drop on floor, good. And social drugs policy. Let's go ahead and delete the other policies as we won't need them. The social drugs policy I'm going to retool. So it's going to be scheduled every 2 days for beer, or every 1 day for beer, and every 2 days for tea. And only if mood is below 78%, and only if mood is below 90%. And always take one in inventory. And this will allow me to get more inspirations, potentially. So the reason for those percentages, T here makes you 10 mood happy, right? Or 12 mood happy, sorry. So let me fix that. I switched them. So Psychite T below 78%, or 88%, and then beer below 78%. So beer boosts you up 10, Psychite T boosts you up 12. So I don't, if their moods are above what they'll get from full benefit from tea or beer, I don't want them using it, because it just won't be that efficient. These plants are 99% done, so I'm just going to have them harvest early, hopefully avoiding any botches. Tea and beer don't need refrigeration. We're about to get our first batch of beer as well. There's 22 hours left. Some of these chunks need to be moved a little bit, so I'm just going to take Bubbaloo for a second and move these chunks so that they don't block pathing. That's all. Just like that. Because we can diagonal plenty quick. Alright, we will have a good amount of mood stabilizing drugs on our hands. Looks like we don't have enough power for one of the coolers, but apparently we don't need both coolers, so that's fine by me. We'll keep going with that. And at the moment, we're just sort of waiting for microelectronics to finish. That is the big one. We have enough components stockpiled, enough steel stockpiled in the base so that we can take full advantage of microelectronics the moment it drops. Okay, there might not be secret tunnels over here after all. I haven't even hit a steel node, which seems to be statistically rare. And a solar flare. Alright, well I guess we're cooking is done for now. What I'm going to do is, because I don't really need shelving here, I will put this shelf in here with the beer and tea. I think that's probably a better use for it. And then leave this stockpile here with leaves. Psychoid leaves, I guess I'll call it storage. Critically important that psychoid leaves go there, and then this one here will be important for manufactured drugs of beer and tea. And luckily for me, I have passive coolers, so even though we have a solar flare, our beer isn't going to spoil because it's being cooled through wooden swamp coolers. How that technology works, I don't exactly know, but I'm glad that it does. Oh, there is some secret cavern here after all. Whoa, all right. There's some bugs here. There's a lot of components. There's some silver, a lot of steel. It doesn't go all the way west. This is not an ancient danger. I just checked. Cool. This needs to be moved. So this should not be, yeah, dormant. Good. It's not reproducing. The zone for area 1 is going to be removed here, so that we avoid those bugs too. In fact, I'll even have it be a little larger. Definitely don't want to get eaten by bugs. Not until I have some proper weaponry and I can take them out easily. But the bugs outside are actually doing me some benefit because they prevent raiders, or rather they have a chance to kill raiders on their way in. All right, Bubbaloo, you are hungry because my NPM machine is powered down. And at the moment, at present, there is nothing for me to do about that. I definitely need to queue up some backup food. But alas, for this episode, I am done. So I want to just say thank you to everyone that has providing me good tips and feedback to make the base better and more efficient. If you have any tips for me, drop me a line. If I like them enough, I'll even read it on air and credit you with your idea. And if you would like to converse about this series in any way, you can feel free to hop on Discord. It's a little bit better than, in my opinion, than YouTube comments, because YouTube comments doesn't allow for conversation very easily. And I hope you tune in next time. So thank you all for watching. Adios.